I'm Gina, Lazenby, the chair of the Feng Shui Society, and I'm talking today to Penny Moyes of the Clean and Tidy Show. Hello, Penny.
Hello, how are you?
So I love I'm great. When I saw that Clean and Tidy, I thought, what a great idea. Clean and tidy. So what's the inspiration for being for bringing all that together? And because over the years I've been involved in feng shui 30 years. We started out with the ideal home show's been around, and then more and more home shows. And our conversations 30 years ago were about clutter clearing, kind of a new conversation then. And we used to give people a black plastic sack to take home with them, and then they would ring us out or email us and say, oh, things had happened. So that was like the beginnings. But now you've narrowed in on this clean and tidy, which is an essential part of a good home. And so what's the inspiration for having a whole show about that subject?
Well, I have worked in events for a long time, and I've worked on some of the home shows that you've mentioned. And I always remember absolutely loving them, but walking around and thinking, oh, one day when I'm able to afford this or do this to my home. And so I think really the inspiration for this show was not only an opportunity to bring together a growing community of home enthusiasts, people who are incredibly home proud, not house proud anymore, but home proud, and really want to make a space that really suits them and their lifestyle, but also an opportunity to celebrate that it doesn't matter whether you share, rent, or indeed own your home, that there's opportunities out there to really curate the best space for you. And whether you are a 16-year-old living at home with your parents still, or you're going on a renovation mission with a new property, no matter what, that there's an opportunity to make your home suit you as best it can and serve you so that you can live the life you want to lead.
And who are some of the people that people will see when they come to the show? What kind of elements have you brought together?
So we've got lots of different cleaning products and homewares, as well as experts and professionals like yourself. So we have the likes of Minky Home Care, Scrub Daddy, we have Sif Comfort, Elbow Grease, Rug Doctor, we have label companies, we have Home Fragrance, we have the Association of Professional Declutterers and Organisers, we have the British Institute of Cleaning Science, and lots more. What is incredibly important for us is that we really do support our entire community. So we're also really proud to be supporting charities such as the Hygiene Bank and Hoarding UK.
Great. And I know that the Feng Shui Society, I'm going to be giving a talk about the kind of the basics of Feng Shui and placement, and sharing some of the things that people can do for the beginning of their feng shui journey, through the society and all the consultants that we have. And I know that Vicky's going to be talking about the beginning, doing a demonstration of space clearing. So what are some of the other experts you brought in for people?
So we have KonMari, which is Marie Kondo's brand, talking about their approach to the home. I mentioned the British Institute of Cleaning Science. They're going to be talking about cleaning like a professional, and actually how we shouldn't be so hard on ourselves if we don't know what we're doing within the home, because there are lots of information that is available through their membership, and people are often on a long journey to understand about contact time and colour coding and shelf life of products. But we're also touching on challenges within the home and celebrating different cultures within the home, looking at things like parenthood and pet ownership. So all those different things that I know certainly from my experience becoming a mum and owning pets and all those other things, and how my relationships change. We're going to be looking at all those different areas and hearing from lots of different people.
Yeah. Do you know, recently I bought a book, Mrs. Beaton's book. I don't know whether you know the story of Mrs. Beaton. She was a young woman, a young mother. I think she had 3 or 4 children in her 20s, and then she passed away. And her husband was in publishing. And he put out Mrs. Beaton for years. And 150 years later, we're still talking about Mrs. Beaton. And there was a book this thick about what to do in each room. And can you imagine how complex life has got from there, and the conversations to have? So I can understand how you can see all these angles in keeping a home clean and tidy, because home is the center of our universe, isn't it? And there is so much, as you were saying, about pets and children and homeschooling. And we just had COVID, this era where people spend so much more time at home. What are you thinking about how the world might have changed in home care and home curation after these 2 years where the world went so much more home centric?
Absolutely. And I think, again, one of the things that drove me to launch this show was my personal experience suddenly working on the dining room table 5 days a week, opposite my husband, young son and a bouncer, and I lost complete control of my home. I'd never eaten so many meals in it and spent so much time in it, and was weaning my child at that point. And the dining room was ever evolving, as kind of working full time and then trying to have a space to eat. And so really, really changed how we as a family operate within the home, but also the concerns about bringing viruses back to the home, I think, and even things like the amount of times that I clean my door handles and light switches and all those things that I kind of thought about and knew I needed to do, but never really understood the importance of doing that. And I think for some of us that's been ever challenging from a mental health perspective and really having those concerns. So I think it really has impacted us in a different way. And I think the cost of living increasing, I think that's really going to change how we operate again within our homes. So I think there's going to be another shift. So I think what this show is about is having no shame in what your home's about and your approach. So indeed, whether you clean, declutter, organize yourself, or you have the help of service providers to do that, which we're massive advocates for, as well as accepting help when you need it. And I think it's really, not having shame or being ashamed of the fact that is ever evolving and things are changing, and it's okay for your house not to look perfect, but actually being a support network and finding solutions to get it to where it needs to be to make you happy.
Absolutely. Well, from a feng shui perspective, we see the home as the center of the universe. I mean, everything you do in there determines how your life is, and those are the many ways of doing it is what we share. So, keeping it clean and tidy is like the basics of it, making it shiny and bright and clearing out what you don't need. So, I'm excited about coming. So, the date is what, 7th? Is it?
8th and 9th. Saturday the 8th and
Sunday.
Sunday the 9th of October, XL London. And everybody's welcome, as I say, no matter your approach to keeping a home, everybody's welcome, and really, really looking forward to it now.
Great. Well, we'll look forward to meeting you there, and it's going to be an exciting weekend.
Can't
Thanks,
wait,
Penny.
Gina. Thank you.